Yo folks, and welcome to the channel. My name is Bork. In today's video we're talking about Arrowmancer, a waifu AI generative art gacha game that is coming to mobile devices. Yes, you heard it here. This is going to be an AI based project where you can generate your own waifus. It's going to be on Google Play and Android devices. Let's go ahead and look at the trailer so you guys can see what this game is all about. Now, some of you might be wondering, hey, Bork, why are you talking about this? Is this a unique concept? I would say it is. You can see sort of the gameplay here. It's sort of in this like tile-S format. There's gonna be a lot of different challenges. You can essentially message your waifus. And what's really cool is there's a character engine where you can essentially combine and fuse waifus. And I'm assuming you could probably combine like waifus and husbandos to create different unique characters. Infinite amount of possibilities. It's gonna be free to play. Arrowmancers, Witches in Space. Now, some of you might be wondering, how exactly do they create the art? It's something known as GAN, all right? What is GAN? It is going to be a generative adversarial network where essentially the AI uses the art that's sort of like provided to it to create different art aspects to it. There's going to be like different concepts where it's like, hey, use this image and this image in order to create a new generative image. There'll be a generator, a discriminator, and essentially they're going to sort of duke it out in order to create a different sort of art style that would sort of suit the person or, you know, what's sort of being created. Now, some of you might be like, all right, that's a lot of fancy words. Who's this sort of made by? It's made by Zigziggy Studios. This is going to be the people. And just note, they've collaborated with a bunch of VTubers and like different people in sort of this space in order to sort of get a grasp on how this concept sort of works. So I think that's really cool. And here's sort of a preview on the aspects or the art that you can see. Now, let's go ahead and jump right into this waifu creation. So let's say we want to go, this one sort of reminds me of like that fire anime, fire department one. Well, let's go ahead and jump into this character right here. Blonde hair, red eyes, that's what I wanted. And look at all these different unique sort of portraits that it created for us. These can be changed, but the thing is I don't really want to change them. And as you can see, it created a different character. Oh my goodness. This is by far the hardest like sort of pull that you can get, is the one with like the actual like wolf ears intact or cat, doggo, animal ears. This is the perfect waifu. And you can of course, you know, change your name to, you know, Bork's waifu, right? Whatever you want to like sort of put it in, and you can save it and you can actually import it into their game and have it so that you can use this character within the world that they're creating. And I think this is such an insane experience because there's been no other gacha that's allowed you to sort of roll and create your waifus like this. It's going to be, as you can see, on iOS and Android devices. You can pre-register. I'll leave links down below. And all of the characters are AI, you know, drawn. Game have guys, of course, does. It has husbandos. We'll definitely like jump more into that. And there's going to be pre-registration awards. I'm assuming that you can use like these sort of jewels to summon for existing characters, and it'll be sort of used to combine and create waifus and husbandos with higher stats, right? Because essentially that's what we really want. And in case you guys want to create a husbando, I wanted to create something for this guy. He has like sort of like that vampire, you know, pretty boy sort of aesthetic to him. Not to mention, I think he looks pretty cool. And I just want something that's a little bit more unique looking, something that looks sort of rare. And this is the fun aspects. You normally don't get to review this part of like a gacha game. And this guy like seemed, oh man, this is beautiful. This is exactly what I want. What's really funny is you can see like different ways where like this character can sort of turn into more female versions of themselves, or they could turn in more into like a sort of like girly character in case you want that. This is really interesting. The eyes look kind of weird. And you can sort of like jump back and you're like, I don't like that sort of art style. I want something else where, oh man, this looks wonderful. Yes, I like this. All right, guys, don't judge me, but like, you know, these, you don't know what's happening here anymore. But this is so cool. Imagine any sort of concept that you wanted as a player, as a person who's always been into like, you know, sort of these styles of characters. You've always wanted something sort of unique, something that would play on your taste. you have it right here. And this was one of the waifus that I was like sort of generating earlier. Like I love like all these like different drawings and concepts, and the amount of customizability that you unlock by being able to create your waifus in sort of this way. I absolutely love it. There has never been a gacha game where I'm like, this art style, I can sort of look at it and stare at it all day. It sort of exists, but none with this like degree of customization, right? None where I could be like, I'm not feeling this today. I'm sort of feeling this sort of concept. I like this art style. And this is sort of more popularized, I would say. And let's say, oh, I feel like she's more of, I guess, shy waifu, ara sort of deal. Or no, I want her to be a cute, like sort of sister shy type. Then you can sort of change her in this aspect. I absolutely love this. Or maybe you want more of like a maid waifu, you know, that sort of, hey, I'm gonna serve you sort of rem sort of deal. Or you want more of like an Amelia Watson sort of feel, or what have you. You can have any waifu that you want. That's what I really love about this concept. The drastic changes that you can have between the characters, it is insane. This is definitely perfect waifu material almost. It has like that sort of more adult aesthetic, because a lot of these have more of like the lolly aesthetics, which I understand people like, but I want something a little bit more grown up, more older. I don't know how to say it. This is just so much fun because this was the original character, right? This character looks nothing like the one that you can essentially generate and sort of create. What's really funny is I lost like the waifu of my dreams. Well, this is pretty close as well. It's just something to sort of look into where you're like, do I really like this waifu and sort of concept? And this is also very similar to something known as like Art Breeder. It's sort of reminiscent in like the NFT crypto space where you get a bunch of images and you create templates based off of different images. But just know, obviously these images, unique concepts. Some of you might be like, hey Bork, is this really okay to sort of do? Of course it is. Like all of these arts are different. They're nothing like the original. This looks nothing like the way this character originally looked at the very beginning. And, you know, I could technically jump back one more phase and be like, I want more of a purple hair aesthetic waifu, and I want her to look like this. It looks nothing like the original characters, and something like this sort of reminds me of something from Final Fantasy. Oh, I think I lost like one of the waifus of my dreams. Then you can have like more of this old school aesthetic. Oh, she looks gorgeous. Makoto, is that you in a different universe? Really enjoyed finding like this one because it has probably one of the more unique sort of styles, and I like this customizability, right? There's not a lot of like sort of gacha games that will provide you this capability. There hasn't been a single one, as far as I know, that can actually pull something off like this. And oh yeah, I know, I think I like this one a little bit better. And wow, this has like nails like sort of like that Final Fantasy aesthetic. I think this one's definitely my favorite, and everyone can sort of argue, you know, you can create like your best waifu. This one's sort of like, you know, that webtoon sort of style. For me, it's actually easier to create like husbandos than it is for waifus, because the complexity of like the way waifus are generated, like for example, Bork's waifu right here, it is so difficult to nail something like this. I swear to you. I've been enjoying this. Hopefully you can just, you know, get this Waifu Labs link, create your own waifu. I'd love to see it down in the comments. I think Arrowmancer is doing something really special. I'm not sure when this game releases, hopefully sometime in 2022. It also reminds me of games such as like Scribblenauts Unlimited and sort of like, you know, Draw to Life. These are like old school, I guess like Nintendo DS sort of games where you could change like the different like sort of concepts that create the character. You can enlarge objects, you can change to like the way the characters act. I don't think that there's gonna be, you know, that many like unique things happening in Arrowmancer. The main focus has to be the fact that you can create a character that's unique to you, that no one else created. Essentially, you can walk them through the journey of gacha. And I love like this sort of concept. I'm definitely keeping Bork's waifu for when this game releases, so I can actually use them and, you know, sort of have them in my journey for this sort of gacha space. But you can also talk to them over here on the Reddit. You know, the devs are right here, Rambling Rhubarb, and they are an indie US based team that is localizing sort of like this game and this concept. I love it. This has to be one of my most favorite gacha games that's just popped out of nowhere. I've never seen this. If it wasn't for the fact that there's Twitter and, you know, more informational concepts here, I probably would have ignored this project. But look at all these like different and unique sort of concepts. That sort of reminds me of something from like JoJo's, right? I could see that in, I think, JoJo's Golden Wind. That's like one of the more recent ones. And then this one sort of reminds me of something from like Xenogears and Final Fantasy. That's more of a different art style, more realistic. Oh, this waifu looks amazing. None of them looks as amazing as my waifu right here. She looks gorgeous. Or no, I don't really like this guy as much. I think I would sort of vibe more of like with this sort of aesthetic. Yeah, this is definitely more my style. Go in here, create your own waifus, husbandos. I think this is a cool concept. I can't wait for this game to actually release. It's something that's so unique and probably not going to be the greatest of gameplay, I think, but that maybe they can create like unique challenges in the sense that there'll be bosses that'll be insanely difficult or something. But I just want to show this game, this concept, and I'm really rooting for this one to sort of blow up in 2022. Maybe we can get more generative art projects like this in the future that will sort of flip the gacha space and create more unique waifus and have us a more personable experience within the gacha space. And anyways, if you made it this far, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Once we hit 30,000 subs, we're doing a giveaway. Thanks so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic day, and see you guys in the next one.